Hello everyone and welcome back to Wargame Red Dragon. We have a 2v2 for you guys on Punch Bowl today. I'm playing as Yugoslavia and we're going to be watching from the neutral's perspective for at least a little bit because this was a weird game. And before we get into that, I just want to say thank you guys. I really enjoy doing this and it makes me happy to see that some of you guys appear to be enjoying it as well. So, yeah, well, that's what it is. Anyway, Merkava, 1 Pekud, and a lot of infantry for Golani here, who he had about, I think, 150 or so games in and was relatively newer. I mean, it's me talking here. I don't have all that many myself, but I have a little bit more than that. And this was a catastrophic opener. So quad stacked infantry and Hammers, BTR 152s, and look at this, 6 Stinger teams, doubled FAE. The heaviest tank he has is the Merkava 1 Pekud, and player 23 over on my side of the board is going to absolutely crush that. Meanwhile, I'm going to be matching up in Bravo and in Delta and Charlie, and it's just, I don't know, it's very strange. So Swalis here is going to be playing as the US, so that means a longbow, it means a Siphon Pekud and all that, but player 23 and I had a bit of a miscommunication. So I was taking my command vehicle up to Charlie, and I wanted to take the 2-point zones. We got that early +2 tick, and as a result of us both sending our CVs somewhere else, we didn't have anything in Alpha. That meant that I see this longbow, and I previously had some wheeled stuff that was coming up here. I had a lot on the back end of the field that was supposed to go to push toward Bravo and Delta, and I can't get my L17K online. I can't get my Hilo Hunter online, and because of that, I couldn't do anything against this longbow. So he's going to start just chewing up my vehicles, my Graniciari, so I'm unloading here to make sure he doesn't kill the infantry inside it with him. But that's not great, because they're supposed to already be up this far forward into Bravo, and they're definitely not. We're still not capped here, so our opponents have actually gotten 16 points off the bat. Now we finally do get the cap, and I'm going to switch, well, yeah, let's switch over to my perspective here. As you can see, the longbow is one problem, the M1A2 is a different problem. I don't have anything that heavy up here. M84AN can't go against a 1A2, so L17K comes out, and the longbow is running away, but we do get him, and that is what I wanted to do so much earlier when we still had a chance of getting fast motorized infantry up into Delta, up into the far side of Delta here, and into the far side of Bravo. So on this side, we've been relatively saved actually by player 23, who did get some artillery on the way, was able to stun those tanks just a bit, and then I'm getting a couple of ATGMs down there too. But now let's take a look at what happens here. So BTRs, Hammers, and all of that for Golani, and in the meantime, double M84A for player 23, and because of that, the Hammers can't do anything down the center. This is all Shiatet 13, which is wonderful infantry, don't get me wrong, these guys are pretty good. B300 is very nice, longer than normal range, 30% accuracy, 21 AP power, what's not to like, but M84As, man, I mean, and these tanks, Yugoslavian tanks, have 4 HE power as well, so they're lining up their shots again, and I mean, even with the damage reduction from the woods, it's not going to be enough, and then it's just so many points in one place. 3, 6, 9, 12 originally, and once they're damaged, see, this is the thing about infantry, once they're in a bad position, it doesn't matter how many you have, and I did, by the way, get a little bit cheeky here. My Hera 2 took out their command vehicle in Delta because, you know, I started off headed this way, didn't see anything. He started coming down here, didn't see anything. Nothing shot me down until right then. It was a bit of a Chinook, and there was a command vehicle with no base defense in Delta, so why not make use of it, right? And now we are getting a good firing concave. LVTP-7 is taken out, Delta Force having some trouble, and we should be able to secure the far side of the town here. And with Delta basically neutralized, I'm sitting there going, okay, well, we have a forward push potentially in Foxtrot, because 23 and I were talking, and he's going, this should be fine, right? The Shiatet's pretty much all gone. 8 Bazaks, but these guys can't do anything about an M84AN. So if we can get the push into Foxtrot and the Cap and Echo, plus maintaining Charlie, that's the game right there. So that's the intention. And then because there wasn't much in Delta, I have a Gazella headed forward, I have a couple of Heras that are going to be heading forward, we have some reinforcements that are going to be heading up that way, and I don't know, it was very weird. M1 Abrams taken out by a single lone Padobranchi. I think, by the way, always look for those, because even with only one man left, they can still fire that boombar. Boombar in one hand, rifle in the other. But, you know, M1 Abrams made up for losing that Padobranchi in terms of sheer points. So, you know, it was worthwhile to have that micro looking for it. So, Lavi, incoming from Golani, his bombers are probably the saving grace of the game, because, I mean, what's eventually going to happen here is one or both of these guys is going to surrender pretty soon, and Golani's bombers, I mean, that was one that was pretty successful. Lavi coming in again, looking for those Mechanizovna. Well, okay, not a lot of good contact there, but the M84As did get kind of smacked. Probably a Lahats, maybe? Not sure. Anyway, Merkava Pakud is found. That is going to give player 23 a target of where to go, because even panicked, M84As, oh, Ra'am, not Lahat. Yeah, Ra'am. That is going to hurt. Never mind. Looking somewhere else. I don't know. Probably the wrong place to look for that. In the meantime, Brzskaya Piz, Padobranki, all of this here, and Smas will be pretty deadly if they can get into the town. I was trying to block them out, but the LVTP-7s are just annoyingly right outside the range of my Boombar, which isn't exactly ideal. So, M1A2 Abrams, we did have eyes on it, and you can see I'm trying to get now between them and the reinforcing zone. So the M84AN, he's sitting here for right now just because I don't have a lot of anti-air on this side, but we should be moving up some other stuff. And then as soon as the Brzskaya gets up here as well, I want to cut off this section, because if I deny them any and all access to Delta, that looks pretty good. And well, never underestimate these Gazellas, because, I mean, Cobra didn't stop to hit him, even if he can. Actually, nothing there is helicopter to helicopter. And my little Gazella just took down a 55-point Cobra, so, I mean, hey, that works for me, no complaints there. Nevamit out to the center just because we did have all those bombers, and now Swasilis has surrendered, so it is just us against Golani, and that's just going to give him double the income. It means probably even more bombers. You can see he's pulling out Cepha'es, he's been buying planes instead of units on the ground, and those will get you kills, right? His planes did get him kills, there was lots of Mechanizovna dead, the M84As got kind of smacked although they're still alive, but the problem is it doesn't save the position on the ground all the time, and you need that presence. Because, I mean, that's the name of the game, it's Conquest. Maybe on Destruction you can get good kills with planes sometimes, but honestly it's hard to do to make it worthwhile on a single run, and in Destruction, from my limited experience here, it usually is a single run, that's pretty much all you get, because people expect that, they know that that's one way to get value, and so they have AA nets that, well, sometimes beg your belief. Anyway, I do want to say, just if you are still here and you haven't signed up yet, the 3v3 tournament signups are still ongoing, will be for about a week and a half. If you don't have a complete team, there are signups for that as well, so there's a couple placeholders if you're looking for people. Super Galeb out front in my Brzskaya here, this is intentional. I should have done it with just one, not both. But I wanted the M1A2 to fire, and I wanted to get the Super Galeb on the way. That was the tank kill that I was looking for, because I knew that he would turn, so tanks turn to face their target, unless, well, most of the time they turn to face their target. So if I could give him a target up here, then I could bring the Super Galeb in straight, and I'd hit him on his side armor. So we actually hit one, missed one for the missiles, and it was still enough to take down one of the heaviest tanks in the entire game. So completely intentional, one of the, well, I've tried it before, and it usually doesn't work so well just because there's more of a screen in front of the M1A2, but that was very satisfying. So, okay, let's speed through this just a bit, because my M84AN up top and 23's M84AN down here are sort of heading forward, and at this point it was mostly just that Golani wasn't surrendering, because this game is pretty much over. There's Red 4 all over the entire map, and that has to suck. But by the same token, props to Golani for not giving up, because he could have, he didn't, and yeah, I can respect that, honestly. That's never a bad thing to keep fighting. So, OTAB 71's OM60Ps, but I did lose some infantry there to those bombers, and now the Padobranki should be able to clear that out, and that's pretty much all of Delta, I think, as well. So, alright, let's take a look at the kills and losses. Jeez, absolute bomber train right there. Got a couple of kills, and then the TACOM, I don't think he actually ever surrendered, we just killed his band infantry. So, kills, losses, pretty brutal, 38-23 to 15-70, and we both went very positive, but Swasilis did very well, so 515 kills, 575 losses. Probably would have been a little bit less favorable if he'd stayed around, just because of things like the M1A2 Abrams kill, and then some of the later play in that game, but yeah, that wasn't too bad. L17K got a longbow, always happy with that. Hera 2 took down that Siphon Pakud over in their +2 early on. Didn't quite see that in the recording, but that's what decapped that zone. And then generally some good performance from the Brzskaya, so always happy to take those guys. Well, that's what we've got for you guys today. Thank you all for hanging around, and we'll see you again real soon.